Emerald Isle, the place where Guinness, leprechauns and potatoes herald. And as the old adage goes, with the luck of the Irish, their economy is also on the up. With me now is European CEO, Editor-in-Chief Michael McCourt to speak about the future of the country's economy. Well, Michael, Ireland has the fastest growing economy in Europe, according to the Central Statistics Office. What's driven this growth?
Well, just to revert back to your introduction there, Guinness, potatoes, this type of thing. We have fantastic export growth. We've set up multiple trade ties with the US, with Asia. We have large multinational companies investing in the island. So Coca-Cola, for instance, who have always had a very strong presence there. They have diversified quite heavily. And I think that that's been really key to Ireland's growth over the last few years.
Industry in Ireland does seem rather isolated from the UK, and the country was badly hit by the recession. So is this growth just relative?
You could say that we're relative to the rest of the EU, and of course, this should be tempered optimism. I mean, one thing that always occurs to me is the age-old phrase, when the US sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. Ireland is very susceptible to something happening there because we have so many great trade ties with the US. If things go up in smoke in the US, as they do from time to time, we may have problems. I don't think we're quite at the point where we can expect interest rates to start going up again. But this is certainly great room for optimism.
Well, Ireland's been commended for its fiscal reform, and it's even been suggested that can act as a model for other struggling economies in the EU. What do you make of this?
What Brussels have learnt over the last few years is you can't just take a template for one economy and move it to the rest. Each country is growing certainly towards an EU average, but I think that what we need to be very, very wary of is templating and saying, okay, this works for this country, let's spread it EU-wide. Whilst Ireland has a fantastic pace to look at, the exports I think are very important looking outside the EU. I feel that structurally Ireland is looking very, very strong.
So do you think Ireland could benefit from a Brexit?
If we were to take Northern Ireland and the south of Ireland as two separate entities, so Northern Ireland of course is still very great ties to Britain. What we've seen over the last few general elections and certainly over the last few years is that a lot of funding is being pulled from Northern Ireland, been a lot of cuts in the civil service. Given how strong a basis that's been for the Northern Irish economy, there certainly needs to be something put in place there. So should be a little bit of pessimism there perhaps on markets because of that. We need to have something to replace those jobs. We need to encourage investment. At the minute, I don't feel that that's quite there yet. South of the border, I think that we have strong enough ties in the US and the rest of the world to be slightly less concerned about British exit. In saying that, every EU state needs to be concerned about it.
So investment-wise, Ireland is certainly a place to look towards.
There's certainly plenty of measures in place to stimulate investment and to make the country look fairly attractive for any multinational firm looking there. In saying that, do be very, very wary that Ireland has a boom-bust cycle history, which is very, very prominent and something that we will probably see in the next few years anyway, like any other economy, but I think it's quite pronounced in Ireland, so just a word of caution there.